Mammotrectus Super Biblium of John Marchesinus is a guide to understanding the text of the Bible. It is one of the most important Franciscan school texts of the later Middle Ages and was written for the education of clerics. The Mammotrectus was written in Latin by the Franciscan John Marchesinus at Regio, near Modena, at the end of the 13th century. It was the most important work of Marchesinus. He based his work mainly on expositions Vocabularum Bibli of the Franciscan William Brito, written between 1250 and 1270. The Mammotrectus contains about 1,300 articles and is divided into three parts. 1. Explanations for difficult biblical words and passages. 2. A series of digressions on orthography, the accents of Latin words, the 7 feasts of the Old Testament law, the clothing of priests, the principles of exegesis and translation, the names of God, the qualities and properties of Scripture, and a treatise on the 4 main ecumenical councils. 3. Liturgical pieces and some related materials. The author was aware that his book was imperfect, and he wrote in the preface, "Let any imperfections in the book be attributed to me, and if there is anything good, let it be thought to have come from God." Variants on the title are known. Marchesinus names it Mammotrectuses or Mammotrectuses, which he explains as led by a pedagogue, but another contemporary form of the name was Mammotrectuses, which was interpreted as brought up by one's grandmother. The first printed edition was published in Mainz by Peter Schoffer in 1470. The book was popular in the 15th century, but its popularity declined in the 16th century. Henry Bebel criticized it in 1508. Desiderius or Erasmus criticized in 1515 in one of the Symposium Synodus Grammaticorum those priests who still read the Mammotrectus. The book was also criticized by François Rabelais and Martin Luther. Protestants rejected the book completely and it was quickly forgotten. Franz van Leer called the work Tools for Fools in 2003. In 1879 Samuel Berger listed 15 manuscripts of the Mammotrectus, all in continental European libraries, and further manuscripts of the text were identified in the 20th century. Most of the early printed editions of the Mammotrectus differ from the earliest manuscripts, and for this reason, according to one source, the Mammotrectus urgently needs a modern scholarly edition.